Trade-offs. Trade-offs. That is what I want us to think about and talk about on this week's episode of Minutes with MinistaMike. Trade-offs. The trade-off principle. We've been talking about the principles and the laws that govern growth for some couple of episodes right now. And today we will talk about the 11th principle that governs growth, the 11th law that governs growth, and that is trade-offs. The trade-off principle states that we have to give up something for us to grow up. We have to give up something for us to go up. Growth often requires letting go of certain things in our life. You let go of some comforts, you let go of some habits, you let go of some relationships, or even some opportunities that no longer align with your goals, that no longer align with your principles, that no longer align with your value system. You let go, you give up to grow up, you give up to go up. See, while giving something up can be challenging, intentional trade-offs is what I'm talking about. It allows us to focus on what truly matters to us and why. It allows us to reach higher levels of success. You cannot go up while playing small. You have to let go of your small, playful habits for you to be able to grow up to the level of giants. Do you understand me? You cannot be called a giant if you are playing small. Giants of industry are always larger than life most of the time. So you have to trade off something. You have to give up some things for you to grow up. So what are the key insights that I want you to go with today? Number one is that growth comes at a cost. That is the principle of trade-off. Growth comes at a cost. You cannot grow without trading off something. You cannot imagine yourself growing without you paying a price for it. It will cost you something. You need to understand that every step forward may require you leaving something behind. Every step that you take forward requires you to leave something behind, to leave someone behind, to leave things, habits, relationships, or some opportunities behind. You need to now ask yourself, what am I willing to give up to achieve this particular goal that I'm aiming for? 2025 is around the corner. People are doing new year this, new year that, resolution this, resolution that. My own question to you is, what are you willing to give up to achieve what you just wrote down right now? For year 2025, 2027, for year in the next 10 years, 5 years, what you say you want to achieve, what are you willing to give up to achieve that particular goal? That is the first insight I want you to go with this week. Also, you need to prioritize what matters most to you. See, you need to identify your core principles. You need to identify your core values and those goals that you are really incensed about. Focus your energy, focus your resources on what aligns with your purpose. Focus all your energy and your resources on what aligns with your value system, and let go of all distractions. Anything that is distracting you away from your goal, you should let them go. Do you understand me? Remember how we started this. You need to give up for you to go up. You need to give up for you to grow up. Also, recognize the seasons in your life. Some seasons are for you to give up things, for you to be able to go up into another season in your life. Different phases of life requires different priorities. Different phases that you are in your life requires different level of priority. So you need to be willing to trade off some activities or some commitments that are no longer serving you, that are no longer serving your growth. So let me ask you again, what are you willing to give up for your goals? Do you recognize the season that you are in your life right now? And in this particular season, what sacrifices must be made? What must you sacrifice in this season to be able to harvest in the next season? Also, you need to be strategic about your choices. You cannot just choose by the whims of it. You cannot just choose anyhow. You need to be deliberate about your choices. Not all trade-offs are created equally. You can trade off this and it will not result in that result, in that particular type of growth that you are looking for. So you need to know, if I trade this off, Will it result in this level of growth that I'm going for? See, not all trade-offs are created equal. You need to choose the trade-offs that bring you the highest level of returns for your time, the highest level of returns for your energy, the highest level of returns for your resources. That is what you must do. That is what is called strategic choice making. That is what is called strategic choice making. You need to know, and I want you to be strategic about your choices. Also, let go of comfort for challenge. That is another insight I want you to go with this week. You need to let go of comfort. That is another trade-off that must happen, that will happen, that life will demand from you. Comfort zones are the enemy of growth. So trade comfort for opportunities that stretches you. Trade comfort for opportunities that develop you. Also, what you need to do is trade time for growth activities. That is another thing that you must trade off. Time for growth activities. Remember, you need to hear me well. I did not say trade time for activities. The activities must be growth activities. You need to allocate your time to activities that enhances your skills. You need to allocate time for activities that enhances your knowledge, that builds your character. You need to replace passive habits with intentional learnings, with intentional action. Any habit that you have that is just latent, that is just passive, that is not moving you in the right direction, you need to trade them off. Do you understand me? You need to trade off time for growth activities. You need to also invest in relationships that support your growth. You cannot just be in relationship with anybody. You cannot just choose friends because you are lonely. Every relationship in your life must be an investment that supports your growth. Surround yourself with people. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire and challenge you to be better. Let go of toxic people. Let go of stagnant relationships that hold you back. Look at your life. Look at you very well. Look at what you've done this year. Look at everybody that have come along with you till this moment in time. What value have they added to you? Are they toxic? Are they stagnant? Have they stagnated you? For the couple of months in this year, have you been stagnated by these people, by that person? If yes, let them go. Trade them off, all right? Trade off those relationships. Only invest in relationships that support your growth. Also, embrace short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. That is the wisdom of this principle. That is the wisdom of this law that governs growth. Trade-off. You need to embrace short-term sacrifices for the long-term goals, for the long-term gains that you are gunning for. See, growth often requires you to let go of what I call immediate gratification. You need to learn how to let go of immediate, instant gratification so that you stay focused on the bigger picture, so that you stay focused on the future rewards. So I ask you again this week, what short-term sacrifices must you make for the long-term benefit, for the long-term gains that you are aiming for? What short-term sacrifices must you let go of? Must you embrace right now? So go this way and embrace short-term sacrifices for the long-term gains that you are planning for. Also, accept that trade-offs become harder over time. See, the more you grow, the more you go up, the more hard trade-offs become. You need to accept that. You need to accept it. Some decision that you make will hurt you well, but it will only hurt your feelings, because at the long run, you will see the impact of making that decision now. As you grow, the things you give up may feel more significant. Sometimes with family, sometimes with your loved one, that you have to give up for you to be able to secure the future that you see for all of you. So you need to know that as you grow, the things you give up may feel more significant. Are you ready to accept that type of trade-off? Are you ready to accept that type of trade-off? You need to accept that, see, as you grow, trade-offs become harder over time. So you need to now trust that the trade-offs will lead to even greater rewards. And that is a trust that you must embrace. That is one of the sacrifices of trade-off. And finally this week, think through and reflect on your trade-offs regularly. You don't just say, oh, I've traded this off. Reflect on them. Okay, this thing that I gave up, Is it resulting in the goals that I set for myself? Am I getting the impact of this trade-off? These sacrifices that I've made, did it work? Did it work? This particular short-term sacrifices that I made, did it work? Periodically evaluate what you have given up. Do you understand? You need to know what you have given up and what you have gained. Is it going as planned? Is it growing as planned? This particular reflection will affirm the value of your decisions, and it will keep you motivated. If you don't do this reflection, if you don't do this analysis, you will think you are just sacrificing and nothing to show for it. But when you sit down and you think, okay, I've traded off this. Did I gain this? What am I gaining by trading off time with family? What am I gaining? Temporary trade-off time, all right? I'm not saying permanently, I'm saying temporary. Every trade-off is temporary because you are sowing a seed for the harvest of your future. So go this week and trade off some things. Trade off some emotions, trade off some habits, trade off some relationships for you to be able to go up, for you to be able to grow up. Thank you, and I will talk to you next week. Bye for now.